Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. William Lee. Today, I want to talk about something that many men think about, but very few feel comfortable discussing openly. This is a conversation that may feel a little personal at first, but understanding the science behind it can completely change the way you look at intimacy, relationships, and your own health as a man. Before we begin, take a moment to support this channel. Click the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you are watching from today. I always enjoy seeing how far this community reaches, whether you are joining from a busy city, a quiet neighborhood, or somewhere in between. Now, let's talk about something important. Many older men grow up believing that intimacy has an expiration date. They assume that as they get older, passion naturally disappears, confidence fades, and their body simply stops responding the way it once did. But that is not the full truth. Intimacy does not retire. Connection does not disappear just because someone reaches a certain age, and the body is often far more adaptable than many people realize. One of the biggest misconceptions I see in my practice is that changes in intimate health are always caused by age alone. But many times, these changes are connected to everyday habits, misunderstandings, stress, lifestyle choices, or simply a lack of knowledge about how the human body works. And the good news is, many of these things can be improved with small, practical changes. Today, we are going to discuss a topic that many men quietly ask about, but rarely talk about openly. We are going to explore the connection between intimacy, natural body responses, safety, communication, and emotional trust. Because these things are not separate. They are all connected through biology, emotions, and the way two people understand each other. Over the years, I have worked with men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond who believed they had lost something important about themselves. But after learning how their bodies truly function, many of them regained confidence and developed a healthier relationship with both themselves and their partners. Science shows us something very clear. When you understand your body, you make better decisions. You communicate better, and you create a stronger foundation for a healthy and fulfilling relationship. So today, I want to break this down into several important truths and common mistakes that many men make when it comes to intimacy and connection. Each point builds on the previous one, and I want you to stay until the end because the final lesson is often the one that creates the biggest change. Let's begin with one of the most common misunderstandings. The first mistake many men make is believing that natural female fluids are something negative or something to feel uncomfortable about. This is where many unnecessary fears begin. Natural body responses are not random. They are part of a complex biological system designed by the body itself. Vaginal fluids are not simply moisture. They are a natural process involving multiple systems working together. From a biological perspective, these fluids come from different sources within the female reproductive system. The Bartholin glands produce fluid that helps reduce friction and supports comfort during intimacy. Other glands, sometimes compared to the female prostate, also contribute during arousal. The cervix produces mucus that helps protect and maintain the natural environment. These fluids contain mostly water along with important biological compounds such as enzymes, minerals, amino acids, and lactic acid. Their purpose is not only comfort. They also help maintain balance, support healthy tissue, and protect the body's natural defenses. When a man misunderstands this process or reacts with judgment, it can affect much more than the physical experience. It can influence emotions, confidence, and trust between partners. A woman may begin to feel embarrassed about something that is actually a completely normal part of her biology. And when shame enters a relationship, connection can slowly become more difficult. The important shift is learning to see the body with understanding instead of criticism. Natural responses are not something to fear. They are signals that the body is functioning and responding in its own way. When there is respect and acceptance, intimacy becomes a place of comfort rather than insecurity. Now, let's move to another question that many men ask privately but rarely discuss openly: the topic of taste and smell. This is one of the most common concerns I hear from men, and the answer begins with a simple biological fact. Every person is different. The human body is not designed to be identical from one person to another, just like every person has a different natural scent, different skin, and different body chemistry. Intimate fluids can also vary naturally. This variation is influenced by many factors that are part of everyday life. Things like diet, hydration, hormones, stress levels, and even certain medications can affect the body's natural balance. For example, proper hydration often supports healthier natural secretions. Certain fruits and a balanced diet may influence the overall profile, while foods with strong flavors, such as garlic, onions, or heavily spiced meals, can sometimes create noticeable differences. Caffeine and alcohol can also affect the body in different ways. Hormones play an important role as well. Throughout a woman's life, natural changes occur. During different phases of the monthly cycle, the body may respond differently. Around ovulation, natural fluids may have one type of consistency and balance. During menstruation, some people may notice slight changes, and after menopause, hormonal shifts can sometimes lead to lower amounts of natural lubrication or changes in acidity. These are not signs that something is wrong. They are simply examples of how the human body adapts and changes over time. Think about it this way: no two men smell exactly the same after exercise. No two people have the exact same body chemistry, so expecting every woman's body to be identical is simply unrealistic. The important thing is understanding the difference between normal variation and a possible health concern. If there is a sudden, strong, unpleasant change, especially combined with discomfort, irritation, or unusual symptoms, that is when medical advice becomes important. Sometimes common conditions, such as bacterial imbalance or yeast overgrowth, can cause changes. And these are usually manageable with proper care. It is not something to criticize or turn into shame. It is something to understand and address together. The mistake many people make is confusing natural differences with something negative. A healthy relationship is built on curiosity, kindness, and respect, not judgment. Acceptance creates far more comfort than criticism ever can. Now, let's talk about another important point that every couple should understand: safety. Many people wonder about the health aspects of intimacy and whether certain activities carry risks. The answer requires balance. For couples who are healthy and communicate openly, many aspects of intimacy can be completely normal. The body naturally produces fluids that contain water, enzymes, and protective substances, but like many other parts of human connection, there are also important health considerations to remember. Some infections can be transmitted through intimate contact. This includes conditions such as chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, syphilis, trichomoniasis, and HIV. The possibility of transmission depends on many factors, including whether one partner has an active infection and the overall health of both individuals. Certain conditions, such as mouth sores, bleeding gums, or open wounds, may increase vulnerability. This is why knowledge and communication matter. Understanding risk does not mean creating fear. It means making informed decisions. A healthy relationship includes honesty. Knowing your health status, having regular checkups, and discussing concerns with your partner are all signs of maturity and respect. Testing together is not an accusation. It is an act of partnership. Many couples misunderstand this and think discussing health creates distance. But in reality, open communication often creates more closeness because both people feel valued and protected. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that if there are no visible symptoms, there is no possibility of an issue. Unfortunately, some infections can exist without obvious signs. That is why awareness is so important. True intimacy is not just about physical connection. It is about trust, responsibility, and caring for each other's well-being. Now, another challenge I see often is silence. Many couples experience changes, questions, or concerns, but never talk about them. And this silence can slowly create emotional distance. I have seen relationships struggle not because of a serious medical problem, but because two people were afraid to have a simple conversation. A question about a change in smell, a concern about safety, a curiosity about trying something new. When these thoughts remain unspoken, they often become bigger than they really are. The mind fills the gaps with fear, embarrassment, or misunderstanding. But the body is always changing. After menopause, after illness, after changes in lifestyle or diet, the body adapts. Natural responses can change too. When partners hide their concerns, the other person may feel rejected without knowing why. They may think something is wrong with them when the real issue is simply a lack of communication. And over time, this can affect confidence and emotional connection. The solution is not complicated. It begins with a conversation based on kindness. Not criticism, not embarrassment, just two people trying to understand each other better. When couples learn to speak openly, many problems that once felt overwhelming become much easier to handle. A simple conversation can remove years of unnecessary worry. The key is the way the conversation happens. Words matter. Tone matters. And the intention behind those words matters most. There is a big difference between approaching your partner with judgment and approaching them with care. One creates distance. The other creates trust. As a doctor, I often remind people that the human body is constantly changing. It responds to age, hormones, emotions, lifestyle, and many other factors. Change itself is not the enemy. The problem comes when we misunderstand those changes or refuse to talk about them. Many men and women carry silent insecurities because they believe certain topics are too embarrassing to discuss. But health does not improve through silence. Relationships do not become stronger through avoidance. Understanding begins when we are willing to have honest conversations. Now, let's talk about what I believe is the most important lesson of all. The biggest mistake many men make is forgetting the emotional power of acceptance. This is something I have seen repeatedly in my work with couples. Physical connection is not only about the body. It is also about how a person feels when they are with their partner. When someone feels accepted, respected, and valued, it changes everything. For many women, insecurity about their bodies can begin years before they ever enter a relationship. Society often creates unrealistic expectations about appearance, aging, and what a person should look or feel like. Over time, these messages can create shame around completely natural body functions. A supportive partner can help replace that shame with confidence. When a man shows acceptance and understanding, he communicates something powerful. He communicates that his partner is valued as a whole person, not just for appearance, not just for one part of the relationship, but completely. From a biological perspective, feeling relaxed and emotionally safe can influence the body's natural responses. Stress can affect many systems in the body, including hormones and physical comfort. When there is trust, the body is often able to respond more naturally. Emotionally, acceptance creates a deeper bond. It tells your partner, "You do not have to hide who you are with me." And that kind of security is one of the strongest foundations any relationship can have. Many people search for ways to improve intimacy. They look for quick solutions, products, or complicated methods. But one of the most powerful things a person can offer their partner is simple understanding, feeling safe, feeling respected, feeling appreciated. These things have a much deeper impact than many people realize. The biggest misunderstanding is believing that intimacy is only about physical performance. In reality, connection is built through many layers: communication, trust, emotional closeness, and mutual respect. These are the things that allow a relationship to grow stronger over time. So after understanding these 5 important points, what can you actually do moving forward? Let me give you a simple practical plan. The first step is to have the health conversation. Do not wait until there is a problem. Healthy couples talk before issues become serious. You can bring up topics gently and naturally. The goal is not to create fear. The goal is to create understanding. Discuss health openly. Consider regular testing together when appropriate. This is not about mistrust. It is about protecting both people in the relationship. Many health professionals recommend routine checkups as part of responsible adult healthcare. The second step is to pay attention without becoming critical. If something changes, approach it calmly. A difference in smell, comfort, or physical response does not automatically mean something is wrong. Sometimes the body is simply responding to normal changes. Hydration, lifestyle habits, stress, and hormones can all play a role. Instead of reacting negatively, focus on support. For example, encouraging healthy habits together can become a positive experience rather than a source of embarrassment. A refreshing shower, better hydration, improved nutrition, or simply talking with a healthcare professional can often address concerns. The important thing is teamwork. Partners should feel like they are facing challenges together, not blaming each other. And the third step is practicing acceptance every day. Remind yourself that your partner's natural body is not something to criticize. It is part of who they are. A strong relationship is not built on perfection. It is built on understanding 2 imperfect human beings who choose to support each other. The more you replace judgment with acceptance, the more comfortable and connected both partners become. Many couples spend years searching for a secret to better intimacy, but often the answer is not a complicated technique or a product. Sometimes the greatest improvement comes from creating an environment where both people feel safe, respected, and appreciated. That emotional foundation affects everything else. It affects communication, it affects confidence, and it affects the way 2 people experience closeness together. I know some of you may still feel uncomfortable hearing this conversation, and that is completely normal. Many people were never taught how to talk about these subjects in a healthy way. Growing up, many men were told to ignore these topics or avoid discussing them. But avoiding a subject does not make it disappear. It only prevents people from understanding it properly. When we replace embarrassment with education, we make better choices. When we replace fear with knowledge, we become more confident. And when we replace criticism with compassion, relationships become stronger. Throughout my years working with men's health, I have noticed something important. Many men who come in with concerns are not only worried about their physical health, they are also worried about losing connection, confidence, and closeness with their partner. They want to feel like themselves again. They want to know that aging does not mean the end of passion or emotional connection. And the truth is, getting older does not mean you stop growing as a person. Your body changes. Your needs may change. Your priorities may change. But the ability to connect, care, and love does not disappear. In fact, many couples find that later years can bring a deeper level of understanding. There is often less pressure to prove something and more focus on enjoying each other's presence. This is where emotional maturity becomes a strength. A relationship built on trust becomes stronger with time. Now, let's return to the idea of health. Your intimate health is connected to your overall health. Sleep, stress management, nutrition, exercise, hydration. All of these factors influence how your body functions. Many men search for quick fixes, but the foundation is always the same. Taking care of your body. A healthy body supports a healthier life in every area. This does not mean you need to chase unrealistic expectations. It means understanding your own biology and making choices that support your long-term well-being. One of the most important things I tell my patients is this: Do not wait until a small concern becomes a major problem. Listen to your body. Ask questions. Seek professional guidance when needed. There is no weakness in wanting to understand your health better. In fact, that awareness is a sign of responsibility. Many men avoid medical conversations because they feel embarrassed, but doctors hear these questions every day. The things you think are unusual are often things many others experience too. You are not the only person wondering about these topics. You are not the only person looking for answers. And you are not the only person who wants a healthier and more confident life. This is why education matters. The more we understand, the less power shame has over us. Now, let's talk about one final idea that brings everything together. Safety and romance are not enemies. Some people believe that talking about health, testing, or boundaries makes intimacy less exciting. But the opposite is often true. When two people trust each other, they can relax more. When they communicate openly, they can feel more connected. And when both partners feel secure, intimacy becomes more natural. Trust does not reduce passion. Trust allows passion to last. A relationship without communication creates uncertainty, but a relationship with honesty creates confidence. This is especially important as people get older, because lasting intimacy is not only about physical ability, it is about emotional connection and mutual care. The couples who maintain strong relationships over decades are usually not the ones who never face challenges. They are the ones who learn how to face challenges together. They ask questions. They adapt. They support each other through changes. That is what creates lasting connection. So if you take one message from everything we discussed today, let it be this: your body is not your enemy. Aging is not the end of confidence. And intimacy is not something that disappears with time. It evolves. It changes. And when you approach it with understanding and respect, it can remain a meaningful part of life for many years. So, gentlemen, as we bring this conversation to a close, I want you to remember the most important lessons we discussed today. Your health, your confidence, and your connection with your partner are all connected. They are not separate parts of your life. They influence each other every single day. When you take care of your body, communicate honestly, and approach intimacy with understanding, you create the foundation for a healthier and more fulfilling life. Many men spend years worrying that something is wrong with them simply because their body changes over time. But change is a natural part of being human. The goal is not to fight your body. The goal is to understand it. Your body is constantly communicating with you. It gives you signals. It responds to your lifestyle. It adapts to your experiences. And when you learn how to listen, you can make better decisions for your future. I want every man watching this to understand something important. Getting older does not mean losing your identity. It does not mean losing your ability to feel connected, loved, or confident. In many cases, maturity brings something even more valuable: a deeper understanding of yourself, a stronger appreciation for your partner, and a clearer idea of what truly matters in life. The biggest mistakes we discussed today were not about age. They were about misunderstanding. Believing myths instead of learning the facts. Avoiding conversations instead of creating connection. Judging instead of understanding. These are the things that create distance between people. And the good news is, they can be changed. Small changes can create meaningful results. Start with simple steps. Take care of your overall health. Maintain healthy habits. Stay active. Manage stress. Get regular medical checkups. And most importantly, communicate with your partner openly. A healthy relationship is not built on pretending everything is perfect. It is built on honesty. Two people who can talk, listen, and support each other create something much stronger than perfection. If you have concerns about your health, do not search endlessly for quick fixes or rely on unsafe solutions. The internet is full of promises, but your body deserves real care. Evidence-based information, professional guidance, and healthy lifestyle choices will always be more valuable than temporary solutions. Your confidence does not come from ignoring problems. It comes from understanding them. And your relationship becomes stronger when both people feel heard and respected. I also want to remind you that many questions you may have are completely normal. In my clinic, I hear these concerns every day. Men from different backgrounds and different stages of life often have the same worries. They wonder if they are alone. They wonder if changes in their body mean something is wrong. They wonder if their best years are behind them. But the truth is, your healthiest and most connected years may still be ahead of you. With the right knowledge and the right mindset, you can continue building confidence at any stage of life. Remember this: safety does not remove romance. Communication does not destroy passion. And understanding does not make intimacy less meaningful. These things actually create the trust that allows a relationship to grow stronger. A lasting connection is not created by avoiding difficult conversations. It is created by having them with kindness and respect. So, take care of yourself. Take care of your partner. And never believe that your age determines your ability to experience closeness, happiness, and confidence. Your body changes. Your life changes. But the ability to connect never disappears. If this message helped you, support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who may need to hear it. And leave a comment telling me where you are watching from and what health topic you would like me to discuss next. I'm Dr. Jocelyn, and remember this: small improvements repeated over time can bring back comfort, confidence, and freedom into your life. Your health matters, your connection matters, and your journey is not over. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.